From Abuja, the nation's capital, this is Matters Arising, coming to you live from the studio of KAFTAN Television. Matters Arising is the flagship talk show of KAFTAN TV that features in-depth discussions and analysis of topical and trending national and international issues by our team of seasoned broadcast journalists. My name is Maucauley Hunohashi saying, thanks for joining us.
And I am John Okoro. Thank God it's Friday.
And I am Maryam Idris. Thank you for joining us this evening on Matters Arising.
Yes, indeed. Thank God it's Friday. We welcome you to today's show, which promises to be engaging, incisive, and interactive. You can also be a part of the conversation by calling our phone number 00299-38365, which will be displayed on your screen later in the course of the show. It's been a wet day in Abuja, raining throughout. And you know, KAFTAN TV is located within the same axis with Kubwa, and the road, the highway leading to Kubwa, there was a gridlock this evening. I can understand that you had some, glitches.
I think
when you were coming to the studios, Maryam.
I spent almost an hour plus on the hold up, and we saw two trailers actually. They had an accident or something. That was what obstructed the free movement of cars this evening, and it was raining heavily. How long did you stay in the gridlock? An hour and a half. Something that normally would just take 10 minutes. I don't envy you. How did you I even called head of programs. I was telling him, can I really make this program today? Yeah, head of station. Yes. Ruben told me that you got caught up in the gridlock, and luckily, thank God you're here. I'm here. And John said, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, John.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. At least, well, those who are caught up in that traffic bottleneck or whatever you want to call it, well, maybe by now, I'm sure they are through it. Yes, I saw the operatives doing their thing. They were trying to clear the two trailers that fell down this evening. Maybe it's the rain, the road is slippery and everything. Slippery, so
well, it's a wet day, and thank God I came earlier and I was not caught up in the gridlock. At this point, before I introduce our topic of discussion, let's join Sifon Umo for a quick roundup of events and happenings in the polity.
The National Assembly will receive a draft executive bill on the new national next minimum wage following an agreement between President Bola Tinubu and Labour leaders on Thursday. This is according to the Special Advisor on President Bola Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, who spoke to newsmen on the matter. Organized Labour had agreed on 70,000 naira as the new national minimum wage during their meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the State House in Abuja on Thursday. The new wage will replace the current 30,000 naira minimum wage, which came into effect in 2019. The House of Representatives has resolved to assist the federal government with 648 million naira for 6 months by cutting down their salaries by 50% to support food sufficiency and address the high cost of food in the country. The resolutions follow the adoption of a motion by Ibrahim Isiaka of the APC in Ogun State at plenary. The House further mandated its committees on appropriation, humanitarian affairs, finance, and budget to ensure compliance. A bill for the establishment of the National Independent Local Government Electoral Commission, NIGCOMSAT, has scaled first reading in the Senate. The body will have the responsibility of conducting elections for the 774 local governments in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The bill, Local Government Independent Electoral Commission Establishment Bill 2024, is being sponsored by Senator Sani Musa of the APC in Niger East. The proposed NIGCOMSAT shall consist of a chairperson and 6 commissioners appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate. The bill is coming barely a week after the Supreme Court barred the 36 governors of the Federation from further retaining or utilizing funds that are meant for the 774 local government areas in the country. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has approved 140 as the cutoff mark for the 2024 admission into the nation's universities and 100 for polytechnics and colleges of education, respectively. This decision was arrived at during the 2024 annual policy meeting on admission held in Abuja and chaired by the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman. Registrar of JAM, Professor Ishak Oloyede, who announced the cutoff marks, explained that individual institutions were at liberty to raise their minimum benchmark but could not go below what was approved for various institutions. That is all on the news roundup. I am Sifon Umo.
Welcome back, and thanks to Sifon for taking us up to speed with news making headlines. And now to our first topic. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved 70,000 naira as new minimum wage for Nigerian workers. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this on Thursday while briefing State House correspondents after a meeting with the president held with labor leaders at Aso Rock Villa, Abuja. President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, and his team and his Trade Union Congress TUC counterpart, Festus Osifo, also spoke at the briefing, confirmed that the leadership of the two unions are positively inclined towards the new minimum wage, but that they will call a meeting of their national executive committees to table it before them. The government had earlier proposed 60,000 naira, then raised it to 62,000, while Labour demanded 494,000 and later reviewed it downwards to 250,000 naira. Now, John Okoro, we have come to the end of a protracted problem that lingered for a very, very long time. And thank God, Labour and the federal government had reached an agreement with that, and the president has submitted a proposal of 70,000 naira, which Labour said they have accepted. Now, after accepting that, here we are. But there are reactions that have trailed what has happened at the presidential villa. And the Lagos State chairman of Nigerian Labour Congress, Lagos State branch, Funmi Sesi, has said that that agreement, it was the State Governors Forum that made the president to arrive at 70,000 naira, but he was tinkering with about 100,000 naira. But thank God, Nigerians can heave a sigh of relief, because by Tuesday next week, there are indications that the president will, present that proposal to the National Assembly for approval. So I am excited. Many Nigerians are not excited. Many are also excited. So I am particularly excited. Why? Why am I excited? Because it has brought, an end to a debacle that was unending.
Well, I think we have to be excited because at least the protracted negotiations and all the bickerings, they have all ended at a time like this. At least there's a figure. And again, the labor leaders, the labor centers, the NLC and the TUC leading the labor unions in the country also showed this sign of being elated. You could see the labor leaders yesterday. They even had to do some kind of boza for the president yesterday, and it's at least this matter has come to an end for now. And one thing again that is also good is that there's also this resolution, at least in principle for now, that rather than waiting for 5 years, the labor laws, or rather the minimum wage law, will be reviewed every 3 years. It's also a good thing at the time like this.
We'll take a short break. When we return, Matters will continue. Please stay with us. KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world. We're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting, one of our outlets to express ourselves to the world. is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okoro and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say you're welcome back. Sorry for that technical glitch. If you're just joining us, this is Matters Arising. My name is still Maucauley Hunohashi, and with me in the studio is still John Okoro and Maryam. John, you are on a line of thoughts.
Yes.
John, let me just remind our viewers that our telephone line will soon be displayed by our producer on the screen so that you can call. It is your show. Make the program conversational and interactive so that it will be interesting. John, continue on your line of thoughts.
Yeah, the 70,000 naira proposed new minimum wage is about 101% increase, which on paper looks good, but we also know that if you juxtapose it against the current economic situation in the country, it might actually look like nothing. And again, I say one thing that looks a little bit promising is the promise by the president that every 3 years the minimum wage will be reviewed, as against 5 years that we have at the moment now. So it sounds promising too, and that's even the labor union said that that was one of the reasons that made them to accept the 70,000 naira. But we still have gaps here and there. For example, the organized private sector, they actually said, you know, that they were not consulted when the 70,000 naira was actually settled as of that yesterday. They had actually hoped. They were
not part of the tripartite.
No, they're thinking about yesterday that the tripartite.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know, see, the tripartite committee ended when they submitted 62,000.
Yes.
So they said afterwards it was only the labor union that went to see the president. They weren't part of it because they were expecting 62,000 because of their ability to pay. So they are also asking that, okay, now it's agreed at 70,000. However, for the organized private sector, they have been asking for some certain reliefs, such as tax relief, and then even the issue of the cost of diesel, the pump price of fuel, and some other issues that will now give them some relief in order to free some funds for them to be able to pay the new minimum wage. That is what I've been asking for, which I also feel and believe that government is also listening to what I asked for, especially in the area of tax relief for the private sector.
Oh, well, the increase in the minimum wages, it's a development, actually. It's a development. I wouldn't say it's a welcome one, but it's still a development.
Maria, why would you say it's not a welcome one?
I like it.
We have had an ending crisis.
I just have a little thing to say here. Since it has been increased now to 70,000, right? The government should please ensure that the rate of food inflation, they should tackle that, please. The hike in petroleum, fuel is very high. Fuel is still very high. The prices of food is very high. It's even becoming higher by the day, right? Everything in the system is not right. So this increase in minimum wage will not change anything, in my opinion. 70,000 is still little. It's not even up to the price of a bag of rice. So you can imagine a normal civil servant collecting 70,000. What is he going to do with it? Is it the children's school fees, food? Only tomato and pepper now in the market is almost 25,000 for just 2 weeks for an average family with 2 kids. You understand what I'm saying? I do. So if they should please, like I said, sometimes the federal government are trying. I wouldn't say they are not, but sometimes they don't check what is necessary. Even if they didn't increase this minimum wage, will have checked the other things. The most important thing now is fuel.
Okay, Maryam, we have a caller. Good evening. This is Matters Arising. Please, your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yes, I want to contribute to the Matters Arising.
Go ahead, it's your show.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir, it's your show.
Yes, Odebo is my name.
Debo.
Oduyebo.
Oduyebo. From where, sir?
Yes, from Lagos.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
Ikorodu.
Go ahead, sir, Ikorodu. Go ahead.
Yes, precisely, I'm highly delighted with the call for with this labor issue.
Okay.
But precisely, I'm disappointed about the Minister of Labor. That the Minister of Labor is supposed to carry along the NICA, the organized private sector, along in that meeting.
Okay, John mentioned it.
Which was held today at the Villa.
Okay.
Because the organized labor has the majority of labor, the number of employees under the labor issue. If not, the agreement reached at that meeting will have been very solid if the NECA is carried along. That is my own concern. Okay. Because the organized labor is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Debo is of the view that the Minister of Labor and Employment, that's Honorable Ikiruka Ihiojocha, should have taken NECA along. But, you know, what comes to my mind is that this higher minimum wage, many people believe that it will enhance purchasing power, stimulate economic growth, and reduce income inequality.
I don't
so
think
I'm waiting to see how that will happen. But let's take this caller.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Your name, sir, and where you're calling from?
This is Moka.
Moka. You're welcome. Good evening, Moka. Okay, from Lagos. Moka from Lagos. Please reduce the volume of your television set. Turn down the volume of your TV set, please.
We lost that call.
We lost caller. Please, when you call, try to turn down the volume of your television set. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and make your comments. Like I was saying, there are many people who believe that this increase in wage will bring about economic stimulation and reduce balance wage inequality in the country. I know that, you know, a contemporary of somebody working in the private sector or in government may not earn the same amount of money with, you know, for instance, somebody working with the NNPC. Let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising.
Hello, good evening. My name is Dixon.
Dixon, from where, sir?
From Abuja.
Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I support what Madam Maryam said.
Okay.
But now, the minimum wage is 70,000 naira. How much is bag of rice? As a civil servant, so as a worker, that 70,000 naira can't go anywhere. My suggestion for the government, what they're supposed to do, they should cut down the allowance of the ministers, the senators, cut their allowance down because it's skyrocketing. I believe if they cut the allowance down, the fuel, all those things will come down. They will fight. They will fight. They will feel the pain that the masses are feeling. Then the government also should tackle security.
For security.
You can't go to farm any longer because of all the security aspect. You can't. You'll be scared.
Okay.
So that is two aspects that the government is supposed to tackle, not minimum wage as for now.
Okay.
And even if they want to do as later, they're supposed to put the minimum wage at 100 to 105. That's my take.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dixon from Abuja. Against the backdrop of what Dixon said, the advice he gave that senators and ministers should also slash their salaries. Yesterday, only yesterday, you know, because of the sympathy, so to speak, members of the House of Representatives have to also participate, or to contribute their quota in fighting poverty and hunger. They've decided to slash their salaries, you know, by half. That's 50%. And their salary is 600,000 naira per month. If people are saying it's not even enough, let's take this caller, Maryam, before you can see you are itching. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name, please, and where you're calling from?
I'm Mr. Christopher. I'm calling from Jos.
Okay, go ahead, sir, with your comment or contribution.
Yes, sir. Yes. As I'm hearing the program, people are talking about the minimum wage. You know, as minutes. What Nigeria will do for us now, let us reduce the fuel price and the diesel and all these things. Then everything, food and everything will come down.
Okay.
When we talk of the minimum wage, not everybody is government workers. So let them go down for that fuel price so that everything will be all right for us.
Okay. Thank you, Christopher. I think I agree with you, Maryam. Not
exactly,
everybody
especially
is a
what Dixon said and this caller now. 70,000 on an average. It was with fuel your car. Even if you don't have a car, you use transport for 70,000 a month to go to work. Yeah. And these traders will feel like, okay, you know, most of us are not informed in Nigeria. They'll feel like, oh, they don't increase salary, let's increase our price. That's the rippling effect. It will happen. Okay. So it will not make much difference, honestly, because...
All your thoughts there. We have a caller. Good evening, this is Matters Rising. Okay, it's too low. Here you are. You're continuing, Maryam.
So that is it. You know, maybe, okay, maybe you live in Okoro. This is KAFTAN in Katampi. Every day, because of the increase in fuel in Nigeria, every day maybe you spend maybe not less than 2,000 every day. Are you sure you're not using yourself? I just want to calculate something. you use 2,000 naira every day. 2,000 times 30 is how much? Your minimum wage is gone. It's gone. For example, wage is gone. Exactly.
Okay, let's have this caller. Good evening. Good evening. This is Matters Rising. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
This is Pastor Samuel from Ibadan.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Please, why Nigerians are fighting wrong battle?
Okay.
You know the problem of Nigeria?
No, sir. Tell us.
Yet we are dodging it and fight the wrong battle. Minimum wage is not our problem. Why can't we fight the issue of the new prices of commodity we are buying? Rice is there, no protest. We are not fighting that. We are not fighting bag of beans. All commodities in the market are very high in prices, and we are not doing anything about that. The price of petrol is there. In Ibadan here, we are buying petrol 1,900 naira. We are not fighting that. I don't know why Nigeria are just keeping quiet and suffering in silence. Oh, no.
Thank you, Pastor Sam. Thank you, Pastor Sam. I can feel the pain. I can resonate with the pain in
Once the problem of this high price in fuel is solved, we have solved like maybe 50% of our problems in Nigeria. Like he said, minimum wage is not our problem. It's not everybody that is a government worker, and these traders are going to increase their prices. You will say, I tell you, by next week, prices are going to food prices are going to increase. So what are we going to do about that?
John is itching before. Let's take this comment. John, hold your thoughts there. Good evening. This is Matters Rising.
Hello. Good evening. I'm happy to be part part of this discussion as regarding minimum wage.
Your name, sir, and where you're calling from?
I'm Abraham Matthias, calling from Zaria, Kaduna State.
Go ahead, Abraham, with your comments or contribution.
Actually, regarding this issue of minimum wage, I want to still amplify the voice that not everyone is a government worker.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we should stress the issue of fuel. If fuel price can be bring down, I'm telling you that everybody will partake from what the government are doing.
Okay.
And we will enjoy the leadership. But looking at what we are seeing around us, in fact, so many people are trekking from one place to another, food are going high, everything is just high. This is because the price of fuel is high. So the government should look into the issue of fuel. Let them bring down the price, and everybody will enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abraham from Zaria.
I think just before you go further, I want to correct an impression. The national minimum wage is not just for government workers alone. It is for every worker who falls within the threshold of receiving minimum wage, which covers almost over 90% of the nation's workforce. So the minimum wage is not just about government workers alone. It's for everyone who is a worker in the country. I think having said that,
sorry, John, before you continue, let's take this caller. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening and welcome, sir. This is your show. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
My name is Engineer Simon. I'm calling from Calabar.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I think the minimum wage is not really the challenge. The challenge here is that the present government seems to be running the government in terms of palliatives. That's not what will solve the problem of Nigerians. Let them try as much as possible to put in the basic amenities and things will stabilize. When they talk about giving governors, giving this, giving that, how many people does it get to their hands? So let them try as much as possible to see how to stabilize the price of these basic, like the fuel, etc., security, and so on. Things will normalize on its own.
Okay, thank you.
Just as my sister said, if you see now, price of things will still skyrocket once the so-called increment on wages is done. Price of things will skyrocket. Immediately the trader hears it in the market, he will increase his or her own goods or services. And that is how people will be suffering. So let them stop running the government on palliative measures. Rather, let them take steps to address the challenges that Nigerians are facing day to day, and things will normalize. This is my own take. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling Engineer Simon. I think I concur with Engineer Simon 100%. When a government that, that has concern and sympathy and empathy for its people and is ready to provide, expectations of good governance, will first of all address electricity issue, because that will attract investors from within and from outside Nigeria when you provide electricity, because electricity is a driver of economy and industrialization.
Exactly.
And you must bring back industries. You must encourage, the cost of food items have shot through the roof. Every day you wake up, everything that goes up in Nigeria hardly comes down. In fact, they never come down. Accommodation is not affordable.
It never comes down. Investors are even leaving Nigeria.
So now, with this announcement of this minimum wage, right, tomorrow you will see what will happen. I'm not a pessimist, but you see what will happen concerning the skyrocketing effects of...
Exactly.
Okay. You also know that if you look at the population of the country now, which is over 200 million, it is just about, based on statistics, it's just about 5 million people that are actually qualified to fall within that single basket of minimum wage.
Yes.
Just about 5 million people
out of over 200 million.
That's why it's also very, very important that why the minimum wage thing is going on, that government should actually concentrate more on stabilizing the economy.
So you have a very thought-provoking comment there. But let's take this caller. Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your name, please, and where you're calling from. We can hear you. It sounds like a female voice. I was getting excited at being the first caller. Maryam is here, and there's no female that has called.
I was even happy to.
Yeah.
To hear her. Go ahead, John.
To hear her voice.
Okay, so while the issue of the minimum wage is ongoing, I think it's also important that government should return to the basics and solve the problem of the rising inflation and all other economic problems that Nigeria is facing now.
All saying this in a nutshell.
That is what should be the focus of government, because you just have about 5 million people who will fall into the minimum wage basket, while you have over 200 million people.
Let's take this caller, John. Good evening. This is Matters Arising. Please, you're on. You're on to Matters Arising. Yeah, Matters Arising from KAFTAN Television. Elisha from where, sir? Beg your pardon? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Matters Arising from KAFTAN Television in Abuja. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Umar Fua. I'm calling from Kaduna.
Okay, Umar, go ahead with your contribution, sir. Go ahead, Umar.
Yeah, just like the previous caller have contributed, I think the minimum wage is not the issue. The issue is fuel, the price of fuel.
Okay.
Because I'm from Adamawa State, precisely Numan local government, I think we are the heartbeats of dry season farming when it comes to rice.
Okay.
And our major challenge is fuel.
Okay.
Because a lot of trucks come out from that region.
Okay.
We farm rice in tons. So when there is fuel, you see young people, they don't even bother about government job. They engage in dry season farming. And this fuel is the major factor or contributing factor.
Okay. Thank you, Umar. Incidentally, Maryam, Umar is from my village.
Yes, that was why I was laughing.
Of Numan.
And you
I am
see,
from Numan now. He's called.
Things start getting
what
difficult.
he said the right thing, because
exactly.
Our people engage in so much dry season farming. There is no fuel. You need to fuel to power your generating set. You don't have the wherewithal to go solar.
You need fuel to transport food from this place to this place. Things started getting difficult in Nigeria when they removed the fuel subsidy.
This is a very interesting.
That was when we started.
It's a very interesting conversation. People are calling, and we have a next caller. Please, your name, sir, and where you're calling from.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello. We can hear you loud and clear.
I'm calling from Ebonyi.
Ebonyi, what's your name, sir?
Okay, sir. We are very apologize to you.
Okay.
Mrs.
Osinachi? Okay, go ahead. Congratulations, you are our first female caller. Maryam is chuckling.
All right. We have a lot problem, especially women.
Okay.
Concerning increasing of something, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
It's so costly, sir. You people know what to do.
Okay. She said we know what to do, and that's exactly what we're doing, to set agenda for government. And we have another caller, Johnny. I can see you are itching for your comments. Good evening. You're welcome to Matters Arising. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
You're on to KAFTAN TV on Matters Arising from Abuja.
Thank you. Dr. Bichette Love.
Okay, Dr. Love.
Yeah.
From where,
okay.
sir? From where, sir?
From Benin.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. You see, the minimum wage set up almost for me, in my analysis, is not the problem.
Okay.
One, Nigeria is a great country. If at all we have road, we have good roads where farmers can easily have their goods, their produce, to the township or to wherever they want to sell it to sell. We have no problem. Nobody is interested of the minimum wage. If they like, let the minimum wage be whatever amount that you want to put it. Would have not be interested. If we have light, these social amenities is the only problem I think we have in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, since we don't have this one, If you can remember, in 2015, bag of rice was here about like 8,500 naira and here about. And after 2005 rather, after 2015, it was like 400% increase. Now, so like, what is the problem? And if you look at it very well, the minimum wage then was 30,000 naira. Now, the 30,000 naira bag of rice was, for example, 8,500. It was a bit okay for people to manage it. Now, we are talking about 70,000 naira. And bag of rice in the market, the least bag of rice is 75,000 naira. And that is on the ground that we are even buying it on OT. If you are buying it on retail, it's far, far above that. So, if we look at it very well, minimum wage is not the problem. Can the government listen? I don't know, as people are talking, the government really hear us at all? If they really hear the people crying, because there is hunger in the city. If they are really hearing, they are listening to this kind of programs that are going on. They should please listen and listen to the people that are crying. That there is hunger in the system. And I pray God will help us so that Nigeria are very strong people. We can come out of it if at all they allowed us to, they give us what we need by giving us road and light. That is all. We don't need anything. Just only road and light. I think we are okay with everything. This 4 issue that is going on too, the government know what to do. But they will start away by telling you that there is nothing I can do about it. They know what to do. But if they give us, like Nigeria, if they give us road and light, we can overcome so many things instead of pushing us to the wall and we don't know what to do. I pray God will help us.
Okay. I think he has made some very valid points. That, takes me to the question of number. John reminded us that we are over 200 million citizens. And then we have 360 House of Reps members, plus 109 senators. Then you add 47 ministers. And then, these are the people that are making decisions on our behalf. We're more in number. And then, like you said, the last caller, Dr. Love said, they don't seem to be listening to us when we do talk. Why are we? We don't want to actually make a role reversal as lawmakers. We are not lawmakers because we are not being elected to make laws. We don't belong to the executive. That doesn't preclude the fact that we can also contribute with our intellect for the betterment of this country. But I think I concur with him. But that government seem not to care. They seem not to bother. They seem not to even pay attention to what people like us are saying and talking about.
Again, you must also understand that we run a federal system, because all we mentioned now is just about the federal government at the time. We also have the state governors. We also have the local government system, and each tier of government is supposed to contribute. That's why you have like what they call, when you want to share different assignments to people, it's because you want everybody working separately, but to achieve a single goal. That's how government is. Division of labor. The division of labor, exactly. The federal government has its own responsibility. The state governments have their responsibilities, the same as the local government. The local government.
So, John, let's take this caller, because it's getting interesting, because calls are inundating us with calls. Good evening. This is Matters Arising on KAFTAN Television from Abuja. Your name, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir.
You have your name, sir, and where you're calling from. We can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, your name?
Ukwe.
Okay, Ukwe. Go ahead, sir, with your comment.
Yes. Your program is very, very interesting.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate.
Yes, because the Nigerian government don't want to listen to the masses.
Okay.
Especially the House of Representatives. Because we vote them to go and represent the masses.
Yeah.
Then now they are sitting down to quarrel, to fight, and they look for their post, not for the masses at all. What I'm saying is that to increase the money is good for the government workers. But the problem is that, what about the masses?
Yeah.
When the petrol comes down, everything will come down by force.
Okay.
Because now, see, refinery, for how many months now, they promised us that very soon refinery will be on stream. But till now, the refinery, they are playing politics with it. If the father is not a honest father, how the children will be honest? Because now they are increased lay a very bad foundation for those who have nothing to do. And you see kidnapping, armed robber, everywhere.
Yes.
So please, if the House of Representatives can help us, all these things very simple. Okay. Because you see how they quarrel. Imagine the father, the disgrace, the Nigerians, because they are the people who go to Ufasi. I will not leave Nigeria again to Ufasi because I'm a pensioner.
Okay.
You see? So please, if you people can talk to the Nigerian government to do something that will pay for the masses. When the transport come down, the food item will be come down. People are suffering too much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ekpa from Port Harcourt. My takeaway from that is that he did say that from previous governments to the present one, we've always been promised that the refineries will be revitalized for optimal performance. And each time they mention that promise, they will shift the goalpost, for the period within which there will be a turnaround maintenance. But we'll take a short break on that. When we return, Matters Arising will continue from KAFTAN Studios in Abuja. Please stay with us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready.
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Matters Arising on KAFTAN Television, Abuja Studios. And now to our second topic. Age limit of 18 for admission into universities and other tertiary institutions in Nigeria. While the Nigerian tertiary education landscape is plagued with problems that demand urgent attention, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, seems interested in exploring a controversial policy. During his tour of the 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination Centers, Professor Mamman said that the federal government is considering the adoption of 18 years as the entry age for admission into universities and other tertiary institutions. He argued that some of these younger students are meant to remain in the controlled spaces of their parents, rather than in the vibrant university environment because of immaturity, amongst other grounds. Professor Tahir Mamman has put his words into action by instructing the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to enforce a minimum age requirement of 18 years for entry into tertiary institutions. He gave this directive during the 2024 policy meeting of JAMB in Abuja. This decision did not go down well with stakeholders at the meeting, including vice chancellors and rectors, who kicked against it, saying the decision came at a very wrong time, given that candidates below 18 had already written the exam. The minister, however, reverted to status quo, which is 16 years. It worried me. Is it that the minister did not do what is called critical thinking or deep thinking for him to come up with this idea? This is a professor and is a senior advocate of Nigeria. He is now saddled with the responsibility in the last 1 year of Minister of Education, and he has, directors and people working under him and heads of parastatals like NUC, like TED Fund, all working together to come up with this policy statement. And it's a federal government policy. At that meeting yesterday, there were dissenting voices from stakeholders, including VCs, like I said in the intro, vice chancellors of universities and rectors of polytechnics, who said, no, it's not going to be possible because students have written their exams. Come to think of it, if you have a daughter that is 16 years old, who is so brilliant, and she decided, you as a parent decided to make her write the JAMB examination, and she passed the exam. She wants to go to the university, and here is a policy that is coming to put a spanner in the wheels for her, not to further her education. And she may not even be looking her age. There are students, there are children that are 16 years old, they'll be looking 18, they'll be looking 20. Yeah. Does that make sense? To me, I'm not an educationist, but to me, it didn't make sense at all. But thank God, the thing was reversed no sooner than it took off.
I'm even surprised again because you know that education is on the concurrent list, which means both the states and the federal government, they have responsibilities for education. And the federal government also has a limit to its control over education because the federal government cannot control state schools. It can't control schools, like the federal government can only control the federal universities, federal colleges of education, unity schools, and some other specialized federal government schools. Yeah. The federal government cannot go and start controlling a state school. So when you want to come out with a national law, mind you that the National Assembly can only pass law that will fall within the exclusive concurrent list, which is only what the federal government can implement. But when it comes to things like education, which is on the concurrent list, it has to be a national affair, which means even if the National Assembly passes 18 as the minimum wage to enter university, it means that even that law has to go around all the states' houses of assembly so that the states can have an input before it becomes a national law. So it's not as if the minister will just come and say something becomes a law. It's not. That's not the fact. And more or less, why are you even interested in the issue of age limit? There are a myriad of problems facing the education sector. Why was it the issue of early? Why should the issue of education? Because the average age of leaving primary school in Nigeria is about 12 years. It's 12 years. Or 13, worst case scenario. The person who has finished primary school, who are written WAEC, written JAMB, NICO will now stay at home from age of 13 to the age of 18.
18 for that matter, a teenager.
How does it work?
What happens to children?
How does it work? Who does that?
They should have said the first schools, maybe a child should be 3 or 4 years old before he starts his first school, not the other way around. Me, I'm very indifferent about it, but one thing I know about Nigerians is that we Nigerians is that even if it was kept like that, even if it wasn't reverted, we will start forging ages for
exactly. That's the implication.
And that's another bad thing to do. But we'll do that. You know Nigerians, you know how we are.
Nigerians will begin to falsify documents of their children.
We'll falsify everything. Reduce the age or increase the age
Maryam,
and everything.
Let's take this caller, Maryam. Good evening. This is Matters Arising.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from River State.
Your name, sir? Okay, Austin, River State. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the minimum wage.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's the issue that concerns. It's an issue that concerns everybody. Go ahead, sir. We can hear you. Go ahead with your comments.
Yes. I said the good one is 70,000.
Okay.
The good one, but that is for the public sector.
Okay.
And I know that when the law will be passed, it will exclude some sectors, the private sectors. I also want to use this avenue to appeal to the president. They should also set up a national wage commission. It is this wage commission that will be interfacing with labor, not the president, And also the private sector, they should have a minister, a senior minister, because if you look at the Trade Dispute Act, it talks about so many processes, whether it's trade disputes, where the minister will come in, when you will refer the matter to AIP, when you will refer the matter to consummation, or maybe to the National Industrial Court.
Okay.
That is for the private sector. It will not be done by the president. So all these things should be put in place. The president should just make sure that the senior minister, is nominated and sent for screening so that he will be sworn in and he will begin to do the job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much from River State, Mr. Austin. Maryam, you're on a line of thoughts on what the caller. As
I was saying, they should have said maybe another caller.
We have another caller, Maryam. Good evening. This is Matters Arising. Your name, please.
Hello. My
My name is Ogbemi.
Okay, from where?
Yeah, Ogbemi from Ogbemi interview from Ondo State.
Ogbemi from Ondo State. Go ahead with your comments, sir.
Yeah. God bless you. Good evening.
God bless you too. Go ahead.
The issue of minimum wage.
Go ahead, sir.
We always be persisting itself.
Okay.
All the time in the country. We must not rely on minimum wage rather than ensuring that food items and not commodities are brought down to the nearest minimum, where all citizens can survive with their families.
Okay.
Today, if labor are agitating that they want to collect 160,000 naira, next year they will still agitate again because they are looking onto our politicians what they take home every month.
Yeah.
So that is why you only see that we only have the problem of minimum wage on the table every day, every year.
Okay.
Now, on the other hand, we need to consider the farmers because they are the ones that produce what we eat every day.
Okay.
That is, we need to concentrate on farming and other source of food items, so that whenever you want to go to bed in the night, after taking what you're supposed to take, then the second day when we sleep, we really fast. This is my submission. This is
thank you, thank you, Ogbemi from Ondo State. One thing I understand from this scholar is that the ban on entry age to tertiary institutions and universities is not of greater concern to them, because it's a no-brainer. The major issue here is that of minimum age, minimum wage, because of the multiplying effects it will have in the economy and on Nigerians. So let's trash this minimum wage issue to the end of the program, guys.
Nigerian government has a way of shying away from the necessary things to the unnecessary ones. The primary problems we have, I don't know how they do it, but they feel like they don't exist at all. One caller was saying they listen to us, they hear us, they just don't want to act on that. They don't want to listen, but they hear us, they watch these programs, and they know. Just say one thing that doesn't sit right with them and see me getting picked up in the morning, So they just don't, this is not what they want to hear. And this is not what they want to do. But they hear us a lot.
Okay. Before John is itching to say something. Go ahead, sir. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising. You're on.
Hello.
Your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
This is me calling from Maucauley Hunohashi, my name.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I want to just say that, Mr. President, I see what you
yes,
acted like a military man on the first day of his swearing in.
Okay.
He commanded that fuel subsidy is gone. Nigerians, I used to be a retired civil servant. They used to write circular. No circular anywhere. Everybody, fuel subsidy was gone.
Okay.
And trouble started. I wonder, remember his predecessor who stood by and made sure that he didn't intervene concerning his elections, Muhammadu Buhari. In the 80s, Muhammadu Buhari had what you call price control. He went out to the market and made sure that any price that was above the normal price, the price control people brought it out and sold it to the people. In fact, in my own village, there was my in-law. From then, the man collapsed for a long time. Nigeria needs some, so even though we are talking about democracy, we need to face this. He acted as a military man because that decision didn't go through National Assembly. No democratic discussion. So I suspect that he should act like a military man in this case. Now these prices are killing the nation. Crisis everywhere, everybody is crying, demonstrations. With some of us who are elderly men are scared. Because if they begin to you remember NSAS, you remember when the Murphy elected this, what you call it, change of Naira notes. Some people went and broke banks and all kinds of things. So let him take this matter very seriously. Act like a military man that he did act on the first day. Set a price control. Go to the market. Any price that is above normal price, sell the thing. And then the border, as we already know, they say that plenty of the things are crossing to other. You know, it's like he has a whole Africa to deal with. Too. So let him really think about it. Otherwise, gradually, because the prices.
Thank you, Eldobak.
The prices I retired and I had some little savings.
Thank you, Eldobak from Benue State. As we went down, we'll just have like 30 seconds each for our parting shots.
Yes, you know, like for those who are within the national minimum wage threshold or bracket, I think this is a good one for them, because no matter how it is, Nigerians will say at all. So at least this is an increase for them, not a decrease. However, beyond that, the government should also, as a matter of emergency, not even urgency now, look into the economy as it continues to slide down every day. And as it continues to slide down every day, it is impoverishing Nigerians to the death. So something has to be done, and has to be done urgently, so that at least, because the cost of price, the price of stuffs is a function of scarcity. So something has to be done, and has to be done quickly, because it is now an emergency.
And drastically. Maryam, parting shots?
Like I said, my problem has always been fuel. Anything that will be done in Nigeria now, if the fuel price is still high and food inflation is still active in Nigeria, we are not going anywhere. It will make no change at all. So please, like one caller said, let's take care of fuel issue first. The government should really do something about this, because our problem started the first day they removed subsidy in Nigeria. And the food, the high price in food will just be skyrocketing all the time, every week. Just look at the price of bread. Bread goes up every week. Today you go, it's 1.5, tomorrow and 2,000. Maybe next tomorrow it will be 2.5.
Okay. Our duty as journalists is to set agenda for government, and I've always had a perception, because whenever we talk, nothing seems to change, and I had a perception that perhaps government does not hear. But Maryam just changed my thinking this evening, that government does hear, because when you say something that is inimical to the interests of government, you could be picked, which means they do listen. This is how far we can go on our package tonight on Matters Arising. We thank our esteemed viewers and our vibrant callers for making the program interactive. On behalf of our producer, Ruben Okala, and the entire production team in the MCR that made the program possible, I remain yours truly, Maucauley Hunohashi. Good night, and see you next time.
I am John Okoro. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
And I am Maryam Idris. It was a pleasure having you in this program today.
And as we say on KAFTAN TV,
imagine a beautiful world.